All right, guys, quick little update on this thing. Been working on this thing a little bit. Uh, Went ahead, painted the rear drums. They were rusty. I sanded them all down, painted them. Uh, the side skirts, I cleaned those up the best I could. I had to actually take a torch to them, and like they were kind of rough, so I brought some of the color back in them. Like I said, I torched them and then used this hybrid ceramic wax that I have. And then the guy I got the car from, he gave me new clips for the side, but the clips underneath were missing. So I bought like a universal set of clips. I was waiting on those. So I got both side skirts back on. And then on this side here, I had this side skirt on and it pulled the fender, and when I opened up the door it caught on the fender and kind of pushed the fender in some, so I had to straighten all that back out last night and reposition the side skirt on it. And then the interior's still taken apart, and I'm not a body guy by any means, but I went through, and when I got the car, this fender was actually like laying under the hood, and it was a whole lot lower, and there was a crease right here. I don't know if you can see where the paint, I put a little touch-up paint on it for right now. And then I don't know how well you can see that gap, like the headlight doesn't fit perfect, and I know the bumper is just laying on there for right now. I gotta do something before I finish mounting the bumper. I can't remember what it was at this moment. But as far as the body lines, like I tried to straighten everything up the best I could. And then quick little update under the hood too. This car, it didn't run when I got it. The guy said it needed basically just needed a tune to run, which I kind of went through everything. I was diagnosing everything. I found that I looked up a wire schematic. Number 1 and number 2 injector wires were crossed, so I straightened those back out. I had all the timing belt stuff apart because the timing belt was a little loose for my liking. I like it to be like fairly snug without being over tight. I went ahead, I don't know if you can see it, I painted the dipstick tube and the lower timing cover because it was that like real light gray color, kind of the color of this distributor cap. I'm going to be putting the other distributor back on it. I thought it may have been a distributor issue of why it wasn't running, but I'm pretty sure I figured it out. I actually got it to somewhat run the other day. When I got the car, it came with the original computer, which is OBD2A, and then I also got a P75, which is an OBD1 computer. And come to find out, the OBD1 computer, the injector driver is burned out of it. So I went back to the factory computer and I got it running, kinda. I had to like stay on the gas pedal repeatedly to get it to kinda stay running. And I didn't think about it at the time, but the car has a Skunk 2 4-bar map sensor. And like I said, I didn't think about it at the time, but it was never going to run without being tuned for that map sensor. And it's also missing an O2 sensor. It has no O2 sensor at all right now. I did go ahead and order one. It's supposed to be here like tomorrow or the next day, I believe. And then what else? It was the O2 sensor. And then, the map sensor. And basically, like, these things aren't going to run great on the factory computer. I think it's missing the knock sensor in the back. And it was setting crank sensor codes too, which once I get the new computer, like, those should be gone. And then, you know, I can go in and, because I have a Honda S300 V3 for it, so I can tune it for the for the 4-bar map sensor. And also check the fuel pressure, which I'm going to have to turn it back up, but just trying to get it to run on the factory injectors. I turned the fuel pressure back down to like 40. I think it was up to like 50, 55, or 60. And that seemed to like help me keep it running a little bit longer. But as far as like the engine, it sounded good. The starter does drag on it. When I was cranking on it, the starter was dragging, so it may end up needing a starter, which I did get a spare starter with the car. Not sure 100% if it fits, but hopefully the computer will be here, you know, in a few days. Like I said, I went ahead and got the P28, and it's already supposed to be soldered for an S300. So when I get it, I should just be able to pop the S300 in there, install a base map, and this thing should run. But it's coming together. It needs rear shoes in the back. It needs front pads. But instead of like going ahead and doing that while it wasn't, I want to focus on getting it running first before I dump a whole lot of extra money in it. Basically, once I get it running, you know, it's going to get brakes. I don't know if you guys seen, let me take you out here real quick. The carpet, when I pressure washed and everything, it was black, and I couldn't understand why it was black. Well, I'm assuming the carpet, I don't know how well this is showing up. I'm trying different angles here. The carpet is like a green color. I'm assuming that's the factory color. Or, you know, it was out of some kind of factory car, that color. And I believe somebody maybe had dyed it black at one time. And then all the chemicals and pressure washing it that I did took a lot of that black dye back out of it, which I ended up ordering some dye. So we're going to re-dye it. And then what else? The bottom of the seats were slightly rusty, which that happens a lot on these cars. I went and just blasted some spray paint to prevent the rust from going any further. Other than that, like I just want to give you guys a quick update, which I did. The guy told me it was a 320 or 340 pump in the tank. I went ahead and pulled that out just to verify, because I don't want to try to tune this thing and it ends up having a stock pump or a bigger pump than what he told me. I ran the part number on it. I believe it was a GSS 317, and that it said made in USA, so I don't believe it's a knockoff pump or anything, because I know Walbro, there's a lot of people making fake pumps out there, but it's I think it's a low pressure Walbro 255, which from what I've read about these, that should be good to make about 400 horsepower on a Vitara build like this. And then, you know, it has these cheap injectors in it, like I said, from Amazon. I believe they're just like factory injectors. But I ended up getting injectors with the car because the guy I bought the car from, he bought it kind of this way and it didn't run. And he had tried a few things to get it running over a couple of years and he wasn't successful. So I ended up getting the car from him. But the injectors that were in it were FID. He told me he originally told me they were ID 1000s. Well, I ended up finding part numbers on them, looking them up. They're FID 1000s. Well, I'm still not 100% for sure if they're 1000s. They could be 750s, 850s, or 1000s, but they're FID, which was a fuel injector development, and they are the high impedance injectors. So they should work with the factory computer or the P28, basically any Honda computer, without burning the injector driver out of it. Because I didn't trust those injectors at first. I was just going to order new ones until I figured out what they were, because I don't want to be burning up my new P28. I paid a premium for it because they're actually, you know, they're getting harder to find. And then, like I said, I paid for the one that already was set up and soldered for the S300, which I ended up finding a guy local right after I had ordered mine, and he was selling it for about half price of what I paid. So I got a little impatient on that one. But stay tuned, guys. I went ahead. I'm still going to pull the wastegate off to see what kind of spring is in the wastegate. But I ran the intercooler piping last night. It was already, we had to take it off the car so I could tow the car home. But when I put it back on, this side here, you know, it goes on the intercooler here and it mounts to the bottom of, or the cold side of the turbo. Well, this pipe was hanging way down here, and I don't think this car has even been, you know, ran yet. And there was already all kinds of scratches on the piping and the coupler just from pushing the car around like his driveway and stuff. So I went ahead and I clocked the turbo slightly different and got them pipes pulled up as high as I could. So not much longer, we should have this thing up and running. I should at least be able to put a base map on it to get it drivable. Still not exactly, I haven't messed with Hondas in a very long time. I'm not exactly sure who around me still does Honda tunes. I may end up doing some kind of remote tune. I have no idea yet, but hopefully by, I don't know, that computer will be here like Monday. So hopefully by next weekend, I should at least be able to, you know, hear this thing run under its own power and everything. But stay tuned, guys. I'll try to give you all updates on it. And then definitely during like the tuning process and everything, we'll give you a rundown on everything, how that goes. I am probably going to order the 4-port Honda boost controller for this. That way I can end up setting up like the boost by gear. And I kind of thought about going to E85, but being a low compression Vitara from, I think I've seen guys make almost 450 wheel out of pump gas 93 on these cars, you know, with the right setup. And I may keep it at, you know, 400 or less, because I kind of feel like, you know, 400 in this car, all it's going to do is spin, and I don't want to make it like too terrible to drive. I think 400 is already going to be like first and second gear is going to be useless, but like I said, I'm probably going to end up buying that boost controller. That way we can set up the boost by gear, maybe hopefully help the wheel spin some, which it does have. I think the 888Rs on the front of the car. That should be a decent tire, but I don't really want to run like a full-blown slick or anything like that on this. I kind of want to keep like a stock profile. You know, I don't want to put like wide fenders on it or nothing like that. This is basically just a toy for me. But stay tuned, guys. I'll try to give y'all updates on it. And appreciate you guys watching.